Hey, Senator Sanders, you look great. Really good to see you again. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Jimmy.
There's a lot to talk about. First, I'd love to get your thoughts on last night's debate.
Well, what I think is that it was certainly not as crazy a debate as the first debate.
Yeah.
But I continue to be astounded by the degree to which Donald Trump lies, just lies and lies and lies. Not only his lies, his downplaying of this terrible pandemic from day one is just astounding to me. And I hope the American people understand that because of his irresponsibility, because of his rejection of science, his attacks on Dr. Fauci, that tens of thousands of people have died unnecessarily.
One of the things I admired about you is that you endorsed Vice President Biden, although you don't agree with him on every issue. I just think that sends a... what message are you sending there?
Well, the message is that, and let me be very frank, and not everybody will agree with me, but I think that Donald Trump is the most dangerous president in the modern history of this country. And it's not just because he lies all the time. It's not just because he doesn't believe in science. It's not just because he's a racist or a sexist or a homophobe or a xenophobe. It is because he is quite intentionally trying to undermine American democracy, trying to suppress the vote. We are a democratic society. People have fought and died to defend our democracy. And we cannot reelect a president who does not believe in the rule of law, our Constitution, or in fact, a democracy. I have known Joe for many, many years. He's a very decent guy. As you've indicated, he and I have differences of opinion on a number of issues. But I can vouch for his decency and his belief in the rule of law and democracy.
Yeah. When was the first time do you remember meeting Joe Biden, Vice President?
Well, I do. You know, he was a senator and I was a senator. He was around for a very long time. I was new. And the thing I think that people will learn about Joe Biden, he is a very, very down-to-earth guy. My wife remembers the first time that she met him, and she never, talked to him at all. He sat down and he chatted with her about Ireland. Their families both come from Ireland.
Yeah.
Very, very human guy, a very empathetic guy.
Although the election is November 3rd, and it's been said that we won't know the results until days later. When do you think we'll know the results?
All right. Jimmy, you raise an important point, and I hope the American people understand it because this is something I worry about. My view is every vote must be counted. For reasons which I don't have the time to get into tonight, you're going to have a situation, I suspect, in states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, other states, where they are going to be receiving huge amounts of mail-in ballots. And unlike states like Florida or Vermont, they're not being able, for bad reasons, to begin processing those ballots until, election day, or maybe when the polls close. That means you're going to have states dealing with perhaps millions of mail-in ballots. Here is my worry. What polls show and what studies have shown is that for whatever reason, Democrats are more likely to use mail-in ballots. Republicans are more likely to walk into polling booths on election day. It is likely that the first votes that will be counted will be those people who came in on election day, which will be Republican. And here is the fear, and I hope everybody hears that. It could well be, and I don't know what's going to happen, nobody does, but it could well be that at 10 o'clock on election night, Trump is winning in Michigan, he's winning in Pennsylvania, he's winning in Wisconsin, and he gets on the television, he says, "Thank you, Americans, for reelecting me. It's all over. Have a good day." But then the next day and the day following, all of those mail-in ballots start getting counted, and it turns out that Biden has won those states. At which point Trump says, "See? I told you the whole thing was fraudulent. I told you those mail-in ballots were crooked. And we're not going to leave office." So that is a worry that I and a lot of people have. So the results, we don't know what's happened. Maybe the results will be on election day, but people should be aware of that possibility.
I know that you've been working with people running in Texas. Why is Texas important now? I feel like a lot of people are highlighting Texas.
I think that Texas may be, in many ways, Texas is the future of progressive politics in America. Historically, because there has been a lot of voter suppression, Texas is one of the states where their Republican state government has for a long time tried to make it as difficult as possible for people to vote. But you have folks over there, Beto O'Rourke and others are doing a great job registering people, getting people to vote. Bottom line is that if Texas becomes a blue state and a progressive state, as I think it can, has a lot of young people, has a lot of Latinos, a lot of African Americans, it can become a progressive state. And if that happens, and if those 38 electoral votes go Democratic, then we've changed the face of American politics.
Wow. I think that would be, I mean, are people predicting that, or this is just your people? Or...
There's no question the trend is with us. What we don't know is how it plays out this election. And to those people out there who say, oh, Texas is a conservative state, trust me, it is not. You have some great progressive candidates who are running for office, who stand a great chance to win. And the future is with progressive politics in Texas.
It'd be interesting to watch what happens in Texas. Bernie Sanders, thank you so much for coming back to my show, and give my best to the grandkids. I know we always talk about them every time you're on, and God, you always smile every time I bring them up. But I appreciate you coming back on the show. It means a lot to me, so thank you. Senator Bernie Sanders, everyone.
On and on and on. I said, and it's on.